United Series is a way for the Disc Golf Pro Tour and specifically FPO to move forward for 2023 and into 2024.
Especially these last few events are the best courses we play all year long, and they're the courses that have elevated the sport to where we are today. So it's really important to see the best FPO players in the world compete on these courses.
The trans women issue in sports is large in all sports, and it's not just a disc golf problem, and it kind of just buys disc golf time, allows trans women to play some events, allows FPO protected events as well, and ultimately just allows the tour to continue at our historical sites that we've been playing for years now.
The separation of MPO from FPO was going to affect staff, it was going to affect the spectators, it was going to affect the players who tour together, MPO and FPO players that tour together, and it impacts, needless to say, trans athletes in general. We get to watch trans women come and play on the biggest stage in the sport right now. So it's a really positive impact for everyone in the sport.
So the United Series in 2023 includes 3 Elite Series, 2 Silver Series, and the World Championships, and will conclude at MVP, where a United Women's Points Champion will be crowned.
And then next year there will be 10 Elite Series, some Silver Series, and the World Championships again.
The nice thing about the United Series is it's all the same points. You will be earning your normal FPO tour points throughout the United Series events.
It's really cool to see disc golf as a sport kind of taking a step in the right direction, maybe even being sort of a role model for other sports to not necessarily take this situation head on, but find a way that works for everybody and tries to keep everyone happy and keep the sport together as a whole.
Moving forward, the answer really isn't clear. What we're going to do as disc golf, what we're going to do in just the world of women's athletics. So this allows people to play at least sometimes where they're comfortable. It allows people to continue their fight and have their own opinions and just see how things develop and hopefully be a positive part of that development.
Hello and welcome to the Discraft Ledgestone Open presented by Merrill. This is the Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite Series number 12 out of 15. It is the heat of summer. We're finally in Illinois at Northwood Black.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your 2 hot geese.
And we're back. Honk. So happy to be here. We love this track. We love being back. Happy that the United Series is happening and that we are here with you all.
Yeah, we're feeling very comfortable going into the rest of the season.
Look at us. Just a reminder that it's the last chance to buy our Honky Tonk apparel. Once it's gone, it's gone. I promise we are working on some generalized 2 Hot Geese merch. Gonna come out soon. Details to follow.
It's coming. Get comfortable with us. We are at round 1. We're starting out at Northwood Park Black. It's 8,678 feet, although it plays like 15,000 once you get out there. It's the number 2 course in Illinois, number 44 in the world. Honestly, I'm not surprised that it's more than that, but as you can see by that review, I'd like to press charges against this course. We all felt it. I felt it today. One of the hardest hole ones in the game. A lot of bogeys on that one, especially in FPO. Thanks to UDISC for all the stats. Very excited to get into the woods. We get to watch Missy Gannon, a previous winner, Big Money Missy. You guys all know her. 76% fairway hit so far in the 2023 season. She's 5th place in Circle 1X putting and scramble.
Alexis Mandujano, 2nd in Circle 2 putting this season, 24% birdie rate, 73% Circle 1X putting. She got 6th place at this tournament last year and shot the hot round in the last round at Northwoods at 7 down.
Wow. Catrina Allen, you guys know her as well. She's 5th place at birdie rate in 2023, and that's what you have to do at Northwood Black. You're going to inevitably get bogeys, so getting the birdies where you can sprinkle them through is so important. She's shot hot out here so many times.
And Sarah Hokom, queen of clean, as we like to say. She's parking 9% of the holes, scrambling pretty well at 36%, and hitting the fairway a lot, which you also need at Northwoods.
Hole 1, like I said earlier, one of the hardest starting holes we play all year. It's 455 feet. Even though it is downhill, it plays every bit as long because of the tight gap you have to hit off the tee. It's also just hole 1. You have those jitters. If you catch one of those early trees, there is out of bounds on the left-hand side that you can find very easily. Regardless of whether you find that out of bounds or not, it is very difficult to save par if you hit early. There's a hill on the right-hand side that can be kind of sketchy to scramble from. So you just want to get something far and straight, but you don't need to bite off too much. Just keeping it center cut is important.
Unfortunate early tree hit from Hokom. I really enjoy the sidearm play. It's not an aggressive play.
Five-time Ledgestone champion, two-time world champion, Catrina Allen.
Wow, I didn't realize Catrina was a 5-time at Ledgestone.
That is crazy. But yeah, so the sidearm, you can see Catrina's going for it too. It takes that OB left largely out of play, though you are conceding generally to par at best.
And even the biggest arms in the sport are not necessarily going to get all the way to give themselves a putt. The best you can do, even with a miracle drive, is circle 2 here.
I bet there's some circle ones just because you said that, but generally you're right.
Yeah, show me.
From San
I'd like to
Antonio,
see.
Texas, Alexis Mandujano.
Well, I can't show you, but someone else can probably show you.
So I think Catrina was winning Ledgestones even before we started playing Northwoods Black. We've had a long history here in Peoria, Illinois. We played other courses besides Northwood and Sunset. Alexis choosing to go backhand here. Scared of that left side OB potentially. You can find her on the right-hand side, and it is rough to scramble from over there.
And from Beacon, New York, 2022 Ledgestone champion, Missy Gannon.
Missy won last year by 6 strokes over Owen Scoggins, who got second place, and Lisa Fakis and Kristen Tatar got third behind her as well. So pretty commanding lead, really. She shot 4 down at Northwoods. It was the same format as last year, where it's Northwood, Sunset, Northwoods. And look at this drive. Oh, do circle 1. Oh, suck it.
No way. No way.
Oh my, let's see it again slower. And everyone just,
Oh my gosh.
I hope you enjoy the gloating. I feel like I'm just beaming.
Yeah, is everyone enjoying me being so wrong right now?
Look, she absolutely parked it. Couldn't be more parked.
A bullseye hit from Missy Gannon. We're going to have a talk later. That's unbelievable.
I mean, she's going ESP Thrasher, like really trying to get aggressive. To be fair, when I said someone's getting in circle 1, I didn't think it would be
actually happening
1 foot away.
Yeah.
No,
on this card.
Yeah, exactly. Hokom having a rough time scrambling, trying to get close here to just save a bogey.
It played as the second most difficult hole. Only one person got to circle 1. I feel validated, kind of.
I just said it was possible, and it is. Really great sidearm from Alexis. You're so happy with a par in this hole.
Yeah, 46% of the field taking a par and 52 taking a bogey or worse. Only 1 birdie on the...
I think it's okay to say there's 1 birdie on the day. I mean, she's right there. She's right next to it. It's fine. You're fine. Catrina for par. I like how Catrina played that, just keeping it in the center, not getting too greedy off the tee. Super smart.
Yeah, you pick your battles at Northwood Black, and this is a prime example on hole 1.
Unless you're Missy Gannon.
Oh, she picked the battle all right.
Well,
and she won.
She did. She beat everybody.
Unreal.
Look, I'm going to start with a double bogey.
Only 3 people got to circle 2.
Yeah, right. No, it's amazing. Yeah.
Crazy.
Look more stoked. Come on, Missy.
Yes.
That was amazing.
You just set the pace for the weekend. And it just looks like she made like a 28-footer.
Yeah, it's fine. Hole 2, very awkward tee shot throwing up a hill, curving sharply to the right. Backhand turnover with a slower speed. Mid-range or fairway driver is really common. You do see some forehands. You're trying to get to the clearing to then throw straight down this tunnel, which is, 300 feet probably?
Yeah.
Very narrow, downhill. Speed control is very important on the green. The landing area is probably only about, 20 feet or so?
It's not very big.
To attack for birdie, I mean.
Yeah. You can be in the landing area but not be able to bite off as much as you want on the second shot. Missy is in a really great landing zone, but you can see...
Just a little pinch.
Yeah, a pretty common spot is a little bit deep.
And Missy threw her big Z Mantis there. And I don't know that she'll be able to really attack for birdie. We'll see what she has. Oh, that's pretty.
That's great. You
really
could
can't
not
do it
draw
better.
Yeah, you can't draw it up any better. Alexis, little inside. It's okay over. Oh, actually, she gets some really good ground play, and she might even be able to attack from where she is as well.
And I was hoping we get to see at least one forehand. I think it's a little bit harder to progress to the right this way because it just comes in on a sharper angle.
Yeah.
But it's a viable play.
The angle's a little bit weird for the sidearm, even with Hokom's really awesome hyzer flip game because of that wall of trees where she ended up.
Wow.
Whoa.
Great shot.
Yeah, excellent distance. Her gentle little hyzer flip is going to work perfectly in the woods. I'm super excited that we get to watch her discs fly today.
Alexis in a pretty good spot, having to throw an anhyzer.
Wow.
Looks like a nice flippy mid-range.
Wow.
So pretty. She's inside the circle. Not even 20 feet, it looks like. This is a hard hole. Have you said how hard this one is yet?
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, no, it's actually middle of the pack.
Okay.
People did not seem to have much of an issue today, but everyone on our feature card is making it look so easy.
I would say it's not the hardest par. It's just a hard birdie, and they are making it look
simple.
So easy. Even Missy was a little bit left, and she's inside the circle.
Catrina, just a bit of an early release, but she still gets down. She'll be in circle 2 almost with a obstructed putt.
It kind of looked like it just slipped out of her hand almost.
Hokom not quite able to attack on the putting green.
That looks like a run.
Chipping to the green.
You don't think that was a run?
Mm-mm.
Catrina from the right side rough. Perfect little spinny putt to about 16 feet. Alexis for birdie. Nice. I wish that 7 down round she had out there was filmed. I also meant to look up if that was a course record because it's pretty freaking unbelievable.
Yeah, pretty commanding. 15% of the field taking a birdie on this one. That is 7 competitors.
What do we have this weekend? I think it was 49 competitors.
Let me double check. It is 47, it looks
okay.
like. We had 48. Unfortunately, we had 1 DNF.
Missy with a really clean birdie. Birdie start. Pretty unreal. Hokom getting a bogey there.
And that's kind of what's going to happen out here at Northwood. You're going to take bogeys where you least expect it. Sometimes you're even going to take doubles, but you just have to kind of batten the hatches and keep moving forward because it's just inevitable. The way the rough is, the way the fairway trees are, like you're going to deal with some shul. Hole 3, 453 feet. That distance actually astonishes me because I don't understand how that's real. You want to throw a turnover backhand or a forehand. I think forehand is the safer play here, but you can get very aggressive with the turnover backhand and progress pretty far down the fairway, making your second shot a lot easier. It's a little hyzer down to a green that drops below the main fairway. There's no out of bounds, but there is a gully on the left-hand side that you really want to avoid. It's almost impossible to get out of there. Pushing too far deep is the worst mistake you can make. You can see Missy throwing a really nice forehand to the center. I think erroring right is slightly better than erroring left, especially early left. It is brutal.
That's a solid shot from Alexis, too. I landed right behind that same tree, which is so frustrating because you can throw a great drive and then not have a whole lot. And also, yeah, the routes to the pin are not super clean. Like on your second shot, there's a lot of fairway trees.
They're not like the way a disc flies. So you're kind of
there. It's
forcing
just
something.
kind of exactly a little awkward.
I love a forehand roller on the second shot, but it's not something that you see everyone pulling out, especially distance forehand rollers. But in reality, I think that is the only shot that you can reliably get through this kind of sea of trees on this second shot.
Yeah, not a lot of people have that though. Missy up first. I think this left lane over that stake is probably the cleanest line.
Definitely.
But it's a small landing zone.
It is a narrow gap all the way down too, and kind of risky because if you catch one of those trees on the right and kick in left, you are in that gully deep.
Alexis looks like she is lining up the right side a little bit more. I actually couldn't tell what she was trying to do. It did not quite work out for her, though.
Yeah, I think she was going right side, but like we said, there's just not really one big gap.
I love this flip-up sidearm.
Wow.
She threw a Cosmic Neutron Photon off the tee. I'm not sure what that one was, but it was brilliant.
I would guess that was either a relay or a crave. That's what she throws a lot on those turnover shots. That was unreal. Catrina going sidearm.
She did that on one, too. And a nice little reaction off the tree there. She's putting for birdie. I haven't seen anyone throw backhands on this hole, actually, off the tee.
Everyone on my card did today.
Really?
Yep.
You threw, well, okay.
Yeah, I know. I reassess it. It won't happen again.
Okay.
It was awful.
Alexis is going to be pinned up by that really thick tree right before the green. Missy with a awkward lie. You don't really see a lot of people land up here.
Kind of a soft bid over the top of that shoal.
This
Alexis
is
for par.
such an awkward downhill putt. It's a good effort.
That's the name of the game in Northwood. Did you see that one little weird stump behind her? Like you're
Yeah.
always kind of like straddling something weird with a big tree or a branch or... Hokom for birdie, just barely left. She'll have to settle for the par. 15% of the field getting a birdie on this one. Again, 7 competitors out of our 47.
Catrina for birdie. Nice. Really clean start for Catrina here.
This green is tough to access. Only 17% of the field. 8 competitors getting to circle 1, 42 getting to circle 2. So if you're down there on the putting green, you're stoked. Missy in the lead by 1 on our feature card.
Hole 4, it's 520 feet, par 4. Most women going to try to go to the right of this central tree like the drone flew. And if you just want to land kind of most of the way down this second part of the fairway and hopefully have a straight look across the bridge to the pin. There's no water down in that little gully. It's really muddy though and slippery, so don't land there. I wouldn't know. It just looked slippery.
It all plays as casual. They were very kind on this hole because in years past they have marked it as out of bounds.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to play aggressive off the tee and second shot and really just bite off as much as you can.
Catrina, that looked like a slower speed disc, and she's just trying to hit that right side gap, it looks like. You can still reach the green from there. It's just blind and trickier. I personally think that the best shot on the second one, if you're a little bit short, is like a turnover sidearm with something flippy.
Missy sneaking in left side.
That was probably a good kick.
Yeah.
Early, or like that left corner right before the bridge is tough.
Yeah, it can be brutal. There's another drop off right there, and you can find yourself down in the creek having to bring the bridge into play, which is awkward.
Mm-hmm. Hokom with her Neutron Crave, landing right next to Catrina, and that's a decent spot. It's a little shorter than you'd ideally like to be, but just fine.
Alexis with a bit of a misfire, early releasing. She's going to have to, unfortunately, tango with that left side. I'm not quite sure if she made it all the way down into the gully, but looking like a pitch out.
Yeah, it is rough over there, but...
That's a great pitch out, though. The fact that she has a line and is able to view the green.
Yeah, definitely as good as she could have done, I think. And actually, Hokom and Catrina have a little bit better look than I thought. This is the exact shot I was talking about. Hokom friggin' nails it and gets some tree love. it doesn't quite line up as well for the backhand, I think.
Catrina forced to throw another turnover sidearm. She's got that shot warmed up, though, from the rest of the day.
A little overturned, but that's not a bad reaction. She might even be in circle 2.
Yeah, I hate those fairway trees. Really messing up your game plan.
Ooh, misfire from Missy. Oh, favorable kick for her, too.
Hole 4 being very kind today.
Yep. Get yourself together, Tom.
Alexis,
oh, wow.
Like a really nice spin reaction up the hill.
Great recovery from being off the fairway. Oh, this is awkward. Not if you're Missy Gannon.
Yep, makes it look easy. Catrina with a look for birdie from down in that muddy creek.
Yep, putting straight up at it. That's quite a steep hill.
And we're going to have 3 pars and a birdie on our feature card. 25% of the field getting a birdie on this hole 4. 50% of the field getting to circle 2 in regulation. This feels like kind of like one of the muskets, in my opinion.
I don't think any of them feel like muskets.
If you're going to name one.
But
they all
strongly disagree with you.
It's that they all can be double bogeyed.
Yeah.
They definitely cannot all be
It is.
birdied.
I will give you this. It is one of the shorter par 4s.
Yep. Holland Hanley moving up into a tie for the lead with Missy at 2 down. Hole 5, 451 feet. This is a little straight shot off the tee, very narrow. You want to land just over this log in the middle of the fairway and stop right here. It takes a dog leg left with setting you up for an uphill sidearm shot to this green. Both shots are extremely narrow and very technical. And you can find a lot of trouble on the edges of the fairway here.
Once again, Northwood's just demanding such precision. Another teeny tiny landing zone to attack for birdie. Again, maybe 20 feet. Hokom's going to be in the short corner.
Surprising to see Hokom go for the backhand here. I think it doesn't really matter. As long as you throw something straight, you don't necessarily need to have anything that finishes left. You can see Catrina.
It's tempting, but you don't need it.
You don't need it at all. You almost would rather it just go straight. But if you do land really straight and flat with a lot of heat and it goes really far straight, it makes the hole so much harder.
Yeah. Oh, another late release from Missy. We'll see how far off the fairway she landed. How far do you think it is to the landing zone?
It's about 260. It might be even less than that.
I think it's a little less. 240 sounds about right.
I think it's like 240 to the log.
And Alexis hits the tree there and actually rolls to approximately the perfect spot.
Missy just trying to lay up to the landing zone from here. It's tough to even just save par from where she is, and that was like such an excellent looking shot.
Yeah, really pretty recovery. Dang, she's still short.
Man, I thought she had plenty of distance.
Same here.
So she's going to have to cut through the corner.
Which is risky.
Risky, and it doesn't pay off, but she's finally in the landing zone where you would normally attack for birdie.
Catrina in a similar spot, lining up a tomahawk, just trying to get some height. Sweet.
It's funny at Northwood to see, like, when's the last time we saw Catrina throw a tomahawk?
Like 2011.
It doesn't happen. And Northwood Black forces you to pull these shots out.
Man, Hokom really in the thick of those leaves there, but wow. Really solid shot. Is she in the circle? Wow. You couldn't even see her. She was so covered in leaves.
Alexis playing the hole the way that it's drawn up.
Yeah, her forehand is looking really smooth. Missy throwing 4. Just trying to get an easy bogey and get out of here.
Such just a smoothie like cakes little backhand turnover shot.
Yeah, it looks like a fierce from her. Catrina from, 90 feet or so, just lays up.
Catrina's been here a bunch of times, and she knows how important it is to just stick to your game plan, not try to do anything too crazy. Pars are good here. Hokom wants that birdie, though. Gives it a good run.
Alexis connects for another birdie, gets back to 1 down.
Only 13% of the field taking a birdie on this one. 6 out of 47 competitors.
If we haven't said it already, getting under par at Northwood is phenomenal.
It's like a milestone in your career.
Yeah. Yeah. And we saw some really hot scores last year, but typically just a couple of down will get you in the top 10 pretty easily. It's one of the best courses, I feel like, for playing the course and beating the course versus competing against your card mates.
Definitely.
Like, you're just trying to survive out here.
Yep. It's a mental battle, too. You really have to hold on. It's a wild ride. Holland Hanley with that bogey from Missy going to take the solo lead.
Hole 6, a par 5 at 790 feet, kind of a U-turn almost. You want to throw something straight. You don't need a ton of distance because on the second shot, you're basically just trying to get right around this corner and hopefully not land in that ditch down there, and then throw a final approach shot. I feel like the classic mistake is getting really aggressive off the tee and then ending up in the right or left and then having a difficult time lining up your second shot. I kind of like disking down and just landing in the center off the first.
Alexis gets aggressive, though. That's a big distance shot for this tee, and she lands in the middle of the fairway with some nice little ground play towards the very end.
We have seen an eagle here on coverage in the past. Paige Pierce threw in an eagle a few years ago. Pretty sweet. Allie Smith did the same thing in practice. I played a practice round with her, so shout out to her. Hopefully she can do it in the tournament.
Sarah Hokom biting off some distance as well, working the entire fairway with that flex forehand. Catrina with something super flippy, giving it lots of hyzer, but not quite getting that turn that you want at the end. She's going to deal with the left side, and it can be absolutely brutal over there.
It can be, but you can still get to the corner from over there. I think left is maybe a little bit easier to attack than right. As a right-handed player, you can just throw a hyzer. Ooh, pretty shot, Missy.
Wow. Missy working those thrashers. Hokom with a little gap over there on the right side. I was here as well. There's some room to work, but not as much room as you want to be able to wrap the corner. Hokom just going to try to throw something straight, but that's a little bit more of a right finish than you want. She's going to have to settle for par at best.
Alexis trying to get around the corner as much as possible. This is the classic landing zone. Everything filters into this ditch right here, and the footing is terrible down there. It's really hard to throw a hyzer steeply enough, sharply enough to, I don't know, skip the correct direction.
Yeah, because you have to beat that last corner tree,
Yeah.
so you have to push a little deep. Missy's playing with the corner, gets very lucky.
But that extreme angle is what you need.
Yep, and that's because she got through that lucky little corner area. That's the only reason she was able to land right there. If you push as deep as you need to, you're always going to end up where Alexis is.
Wow, what a technical backhand shot from Hokom. Little flip up. It actually looked like it was going to make it to the circle, but it catches that last stump.
And she's making me eat my words. She has a putt for birdie.
Catrina catching a tree there. She's got, 150, 200 feet left, something like that. So awkward from down in there. Literally every FPO has landed there and knows exactly what that's like.
Yep.
Alexis landing right next to Hokom in circle 2 for a long look at birdie. Wow.
Yeah, really fun looking shot from Missy, and she executes it so well.
She was in such a great spot after her second.
Yeah, Catrina's still wrapping the corner, leaves it a little bit short for her putt for par. Hokom has to kind of take a little roundabout route to the green.
Well done.
This played as the 6th most difficult hole of the day with only 10% of the field birdieing.
Alexis chooses to go out and around as well and makes it.
No.
I thought she was going to go that right side gap. Like, she has a clear look at it that Hokom didn't have, but she does this crazy Annie.
Wow.
What a birdie.
Yes.
So sick.
From the ditch with a sidearm. That's just insane.
I don't know anyone who's birdied from the ditch. That's not true, but it's still really impressive.
There's only 5 birdies on the day, too.
Oh, wow.
So that's a good one to get.
That's slower than I would have guessed. I mean, it's hard, don't get me wrong, but at 790, it's pretty feasible.
Nice par putt from Catrina. Yeah, only 3 competitors got to circle 1. Yeah. Missy, one of those 3. Only 25% getting to circle 2. So yeah, it played tough today. I'm always happy with a par on this one.
Alexis isn't.
And that brings her up into a tie for the lead with Missy and Holland Hanley dropping back into that 1 down positioning.
It looks like there's a handful of people there.
Yeah, not a lot of scoring separation out there today. Hole 7. I don't want to call it a poke and hope, but it's just a very funny line that a disc doesn't really fly. You can take this left route that the drone's flying with a hyzer flip and with maybe some gentle turn at the end, but there's a corner tree that kind of blocks that route. I think a lot of players are going for this right side gap, or for a right side gap that allows the disc to kind of hyzer into the green. There is out of bounds all the way down the right-hand side, so you don't want to get too aggressive on the right-hand side because you can find it very easily.
Yeah, they cleared out the right-hand side too, so I saw the OB line and was like, oh, I've never seen that before because there was trees there.
Yep.
Missy hitting the gap just like you want to, and that's about as good as you can do it.
Yep, that right-hand side cleared out very nicely.
I feel like Big Germ would argue with you and say it's a sidearm hyzer flip that drifts to the left before fading to the right, like only a shot that he can throw. And maybe Hokom can throw.
Yeah, Hokom can do it too. Look at her. So good.
Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people have that shot, though. Very technical.
Catrina working another hyzer flip shot with this flippy disc.
So pretty.
So good. That's such a technical shot.
Alexis with a lot of work left to do. If you don't hit that first gap off the tee, it's so hard to get close to the pin.
Yeah, it's not an easy hole to scramble for sure. Look how guarded that green is.
Do it. Ah.
A really nice bid for par.
Hokom trying another Anheuser putt.
Giving him some solid runs. Only one person got to circle 1 on this hole. On the whole day.
Boom.
Catrina hitting that circle 2. Yay, Jomez.
Catrina bogey free so far. I feel like bogey free round at Northwoods would be just the bucket list item of a lifetime.
Yeah, seriously.
Like you should get a medal if you do that.
For real though, it's just like an indicator of clean and Missy. Missy was the one person inside the circle. Catrina was the only birdie of the day. But yeah, bogey free is just the indicator of like pristine play and also impeccable scrambling.
Catrina and Missy now tied. Hokom, after a rough start, hanging in there at 2 over, there's still time to get under par. And Alexis moving.
Yeah, still
back to
looking
1
really
down.
clean.
Mm-hmm.
The score's just not quite reflecting it. Is the front 9 or the back 9 more difficult? I can't really decide.
They're both more difficult.
At Discraft, we don't wait to see what the future holds. We build it. The future is in your hands.
Hole 8 is interesting. It is a par 3 downhill, 307 feet. Very reachable with a mid-range. You do see some fairway drivers. I'm not sure if anyone's throwing putter. You are throwing out of Over out of bounds, there are some trees to miss on the right. You can see those 2 trees there. Actually, right and left, 2 sets of 2 trees. So you're trying to hit the gap left of what Catrina did. Typically, I think she pulled that one. You can see the OB line that lines the right-hand side as well. If you're going to make a mistake, you want to fade to the left.
There is a drop zone if you do go out of bounds, and strangely it is, I think it's the MPO drop zone that we just get to use because it gives you like a 40-foot
Yeah,
putt.
it's like a very gettable putt. Missy going to be out of bounds as well. She was close to hitting the line, but gets tree directed. It's a really tough gap to hit if you are attacking for birdie. If you're just trying to par and kind of end up on the left side, it's a pretty fair gap. That was an amazing sidearm. You don't see a whole lot of sidearms on this thing.
Mm-mm.
Oh, no.
This distance is definitely reachable with a putter, but you just do have to throw it very hard, so it feels a little bit like an attack. And that gap is just so perfectly set up with those trees on the right side.
I would not have guessed that the 3 backhands would go OB and and the forehand stayed in.
Yeah, well, what a great bid from Catrina. These chains are pretty heavy. I do love these baskets, but you have to putt them hard in order to get them to stick.
Missy just a bit high.
Yeah, all over the basket the last 2 holes.
Dang it, nubbed.
Oh, 23% of the field getting a birdie here, 38 getting a bogey or worse.
See if Hokom can get another birdie.
I watched Emily Beach make the drop zone putt. Big props.
Why don't you call them mad props? Like, that
Mad
just
props
sounds
from
obvious.
Mad Dog.
Yeah, exactly. The little jump is a pretty funny reaction from Catrina. Missy, let's see.
Is in a tie for second. Sarah Gilpin.
Yeah, Sarah Gilpin leading the way now at 2 down.
Hole 9, 564 feet. This is one where you can afford to get aggressive off the tee pad. Big distance shot really does help your cause. Straight up hyzer is, I think, the best case scenario. Pushing too far straight is okay. You don't want to be early left, though. It can be tough to recover. Your second shot is narrow. You can pick a gap. There's a few to work with. This one is a hole that anybody can birdie. They did clear out a lot of the fairways on the side, or the edge of fairways. So it's a lot easier to scramble this year on hole 9.
I believe that was a neutron crave from Hokom. She's going to be in a good spot. This is one that I feel like should be so easy at 564. Like, this to me is the gimme birdie, but I almost never get it.
It kind of gimme, but the green is really guarded.
The green is very guarded.
And there's a pinch point on the second shot that it's tough. You're kind of forced to hit a certain angle depending on where your drive lands.
It's kind of one of the more open drives, though, where you can kind of throw as hard as you want. There's not a ton of those out here at Northwood. Ooh. Very late release there from Alexis. She's just playing for par now.
Really happy to see Alexis perform so well last week.
Uh-oh.
She's such a solid player. Also, unofficially the fastest player on tour.
Her and her sister are both pretty fast, but I do think Alexis is a little bit faster. Haley King, though, right in the competition, and Paige Shue, the fastest card in FPO.
They get done at Northwood Black in 1 hour and 47 minutes.
We clocked it. Missy, this is kind of a cool look at it. I usually end up with more of a hyzer line. Missy just flipping this thing up and absolutely parking it.
Wow.
So good. Tom mildly impressed with Missy's drive.
I like the decorative fan on the cart. Catrina again trying to work hyzer flip shot, and just she's been riding the right side of the fairway all day today. It works out occasionally.
Hokom, after a phenomenal drive, left with kind of an awkward run up with a tree in her way, and that's just garbage over there on the right. It was a really bad kick. It's so thick over there. I think the left side's a little better.
Catrina with another straddle out. Anheuser side harm. Sneaking through the trees, getting inside the circle for par.
Yeah, solid recovery shot. Alexis throwing 4. Is this blue one? I'm guessing it's a zone. It's very stable. That's the first time we haven't seen her quite connect with the disc there, and it comes out a little low and late.
Gosh.
Oh, it
Hokom,
is so bad.
She's in the dark. It's so thick over here.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not sure if the roller was intentional, but it seems that way. She's pretty masterful at those. Fortunately, she goes from right rough to left rough, and she'll still have to do some work to get to the green. And like Erika said, like we said earlier, this one that feels kind of like one of the must-get birdies can so easily turn into a bogey.
Mm-hmm. They all can.
Northwoods.
Dang, Alexis gonna finish off the front 9 with a double bogey at best. It's a great scramble from Catrina. She stays under par on the front 9 at 1 down.
This did play as one of the top 4 easiest holes of the day, with 23% of the field getting to circle 1 and over half to getting to circle 2. So kind of strange to see our feature card lady struggling a bit on this one. Can't speak for everyone though.
Yeah, Missy's not stressed at all. She's 5 feet away for another birdie, moving back to 2 down.
And that's a lot of birdies on the front. I think, in my opinion, I feel like the front 9's a little bit more difficult to birdie. The back 9 I feel like is a little bit easier to stay clean, but you know, there's also some pretty rough par 5s on the back.
I don't think I agree or disagree with you. Like, it's just all hard.
There's no actual arguing this.
Sarah Gilpin in a tie for first with Missy Gannon at 2 down. We got 4 ladies tied at 1 under, and the top 10 is even. So a little bit higher scores than we're used to seeing. Not quite as many people under par because Northwoods is hard.
Yeah, everyone coming back from Europe or maybe a 3-week break. If you didn't go to Europe and just jumping straight into Northwood Black, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And you can maybe feel that out in the FPO field. We do have 9 more holes at Northwood Black. It was a hot and sticky day.
Yeah.
So you definitely start to feel the mental fatigue as you move into the back 9. You look at it and you're like, oh, we're on hole 9. We're only halfway.
Yeah.
So hope you guys will come hang out with us on the back. We're super happy to be back. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 Hot Geese.
Honk.